CleverTouch video, we are going to look at your LUX menu, or the applications that are on your panel. You can access your applications on either the left side or the right side, depending on where you're standing. You access them with this right over arrow, or on that side, the left over arrow. When you tap the arrow, your menus will come into play. We are going to go over what each of these applications are in your menu. Some of them will go over more in depth right now, but others will have a separate section or training on here in just a little bit for you to access. The first app up here, you'll notice it's green, it's called the whiteboard. That you will use within instruction, possibly with students, small group, whole group, many different ways to use it. And like I said, we'll go over that in a separate training. Your files here, the second icon is yellow. That's where you access everything that you might save on your panel. First, it will go to your top one. It's just storage. These are all the files and folders you have saved just on this specific panel. And so those might be short-term things that you're saving that you want to access only while here on this panel or in your classroom. You cannot access these files anywhere else. They're just kind of locked down. The next tab is your cloud drive, and that's where we will talk about here in just a minute how to sync your Google Drive here to your panel. And so when you save things to your Google Drive, not only can you access them here, but you could access them on another panel in another classroom. You could access them on a computer at home or a Chromebook, any type of device where you can locate and get on your Google Drive. So that's very nice. Like I said, we will look at this in just a little bit on how to sync your Google Drive. So those are your files. So you get to choose whether you want it saved just here on the panel or on your Google Drive. The next icon there, the third one, is blue, and it looks like the World Wide Web, and that's your internet browser. The first time you get on your panel, we will have to set that default browser up to Chrome. It's important that you're always using Chrome on these panels for a few reasons. First, you'll notice that websites run more efficiently, especially with Flash Player. And the second is also things on your Google Drive. If you're not in Chrome, they will not allow you to edit and access them in real time. And so that's important that we do set that up. To access the browser, after you have it open, all you do is you click on it, and it will take you there to the internet to open up new tabs, and it'll take you to Google. The next app I want to show you, it's orange here with a little grocery cart. That is the Clever Store. Think about that kind of like the Google Play Store on an Android device, or the App Store on iOS. The great thing about the Clever Store is everything is free, and then just here in a little bit, you will watch a separate video on how to access the Clever Store and how to download those applications here on your panel. The next icon is purple, and it's called the active icon. I like to think of the active icon like when you swipe up or pull up with your finger on a Apple device to see everything that's running on your device. So let me click on that, and you'll be able to see everything I've been to lately. This is helpful for three different reasons. The first reason is it helps you to see and efficiently toggle back and forth between the different applications you've been in. So that's very helpful. The second way you can use it is if you notice your device is running slow, you can close out of applications by clicking the X or by literally dragging and kind of tossing them away on either side. That's another way they're helpful. The third way that you can use the task is you can also split the screen. So you'll notice up here beside the little X in here, it shows two rectangles, and it's showing you a split screen icon. When you click that, it will automatically take your two most recent applications and split them so that you can work side by side. This could be very helpful for instruction. You could show a video and have the whiteboard open, or an internet browser and the whiteboard open. Compare and contrast two different applications. So many uses for that. You can also, when you have them open, make the size larger or smaller. And then, and then when you're finished, you can also just exit out as well to get those to go away and get it back to that full screen. The next icon I'd like to show you after the active icon of your tasks is the lock. It looks like a blue icon with a padlock on it. This is something that your school will make a decision about. What this does is it actually locks and puts a passcode on the panel so that when people walk up to it, they cannot open it up and access your information. That is important because if we are syncing our Google Drives, we have a lot of personal teacher data as well as student data on those drives. And so that is something you need to have a conversation with your school leadership about on what the process will be on to how to set that up. The next is your application. So it's kind of like your app store. When you click here, you can see all the apps you have downloaded onto your panel. CleverTouch, when you do get it, for the factory settings, or they have a few on there already that they think might be helpful for you. But in just a little bit, Rosalind's going to show you how to get into the Clever Store to add additional apps, and those will show up here. Something to note is within the App Store, that is where your settings are located. You will not have to access settings much because that's something that your student technology coordinator or LMS might access, but just know that it is there within your apps. The next icon I'd like to tell you about is the favorites. The favorites can be very helpful. It's kind of like bookmarking something on your computer so that you have that easy access to things you use all of the time. In order to save one, you have to click on that favorites. You'll notice that there might be little icons there already, but there's a plus button, and when you click that plus button, it's going to ask you, well, which apps do you want to add to your favorites? And so you can tell it, maybe if you go to Chrome frequently, you can push that little plus beside it, and it pops up down here. Maybe if you like to cast a lot, you can put it down there as well. We'll show you that later. And then also removal is very easy. You'll notice down here on your favorites bar, when you've accessed it, they have little icons that so taking away or subtraction, and so you can take them away also very easily. So I'll do that for this teacher as well. And when you want to get out of it, you just click off. So a very helpful way to get to different apps very quickly down there in favorites. So that is the overview of your basic software, your LUX menu here on the left or right side. Thank you so much for watching.